if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money, Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. You know how we roll. We get after it. We want to get the line movement, angles, trends, injury updates, weather reports, all the tidbits that go into this last look at the card before we cook the books, and we're going to do it together tonight. We got to make up for a little bit of lost ground last night, so it's a perfect night to get to work. Appreciate all you guys coming in here to hang out with us and see what the card looks like here. Not the finest, as I mentioned yesterday. Where do we start? Let's start with hockey. Split the card, it looks like, in the NHL. We cashed that Vegas Golden Knights -1.5. Easy, J peasy. We got the under 6 in Boston and Edmonton. Another no sweater, 4-0. Ottawa does take the L. Was that shootout, I believe? Was it shootout? Or I know it went to overtime at the very least. And then the under 5.5 in St. Louis. Just a bad read. We were literally one shootout stop away from flipping that card and going 3-1, but we split the middle. College basketball wise, kind of the same deal again. We did cash with the Georgetown under. Georgetown Marquette, 146.5. Got to 140. No problemo. Good casher there. Syracuse busted them fools up. We talked about it. Carrier Dome's a tough place to play. Syracuse is unbeaten in its last, I think, 9 now. At home, at night. Tough place to play. Reminder, Saturday afternoons at noon. Not so tough a place to play. Weeknights and weekends, evenings, tough place to play. Think about it. Syracuse is literally the armpit of New York State. Right in the middle. It's the fold before you make a final decision. Are you going west or east? There's nothing to do there. College hoops at night. You get out of work, you fire down a couple of pops, and you get after it with the Cuse Orange. And Saturday afternoons, on the other hand, not so much. Not so much. And Tennessee got busted up. Man, I'm glad none of you guys posted that in the chat before we ended the show. Put those bad vibes out there, man. They were down like 20 points by 5-minute mark into the game. It was ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. And nothing was more ugly than the NBA. The Lakers, they got busted up by Dallas. Huh? Dallas? Remember this, though. When there's the TNT special, there's overs and there's unders. And if one goes over, the other goes under. If one side wins as a dog, the next game's going to win as a favorite. It's got to be damn near 100% since TNT's been posting games out there. That being said, Golden State, -9, not pretty. So that one certainly isn't going to get us there. Lost outright. But we fight on. We've lived a battle another day. We've got a big card of action, but not the biggest card I was a fan of here. We've got one cancellation in the NHL. Hopefully everybody that are West Coast friends there in the Los Angeles and the California area are staying safe and sound with the wildfires that we see out there. I don't know if it's really a wildfire. It looked like it kind of started at one particular house. But that being said, safety first. I hope everybody does take it safe and slow out there. They have, out of an abundance of caution, decided to cancel that LA Kings battle, which makes sense. So no sense putting anybody in jeopardy when they're trying to evacuate certain parts of the state. So that leaves us down to 3 NHL games with action in 2 of them. So we do have 2 plays out there. We'll have an action in the Avs and Hawks, action in the Vancouver Canucks, Washington Capitals spots. College basketball, kind of another one of those tricky boards here. I was leaning to a lot of unders, a lot of genders. But I have 2 official plays. You may want to keep your eyes on that first half under in Villanova, UConn. Just saying. You may want to look at Seton Hall because DePaul is bad. Just saying. But those are 6:30 starts, so we won't rush in to get those pieces of action underway. But we will talk Western Carolina, Wofford. It's Wofford. And then USC, Indiana, a Big Ten battle. USC 1-2 in the Big Ten, and Indiana bullying everybody. So we'll talk about that game. We've got a prop bet alert. It's a little over 2-1 in the NBA. You probably already know half of it. It's our boy. He's back. It's a boost night with a big total. You know we like to get in there and exploit those opportunities. Then we'll go into OKC, Cleveland, Portland, and the Pelicanos. We've got the Clippers and the Nuggets. Nuggets let down last night. Important to note. Make note. Nuggets let down last night. We'll talk about that and why that's important. And then last but not least, we'll finish things off with the Spurs and the Bucks in a battle of two top 10 defenses to wrap up the show. So we still have an abundance of plays, a wider NBA card than I expected. So we'll proceed with caution. There's definitely some trepidation. Shout out to my man, Jose Bouquet. Show a little trepidation around this wide NBA card, but feel good about the place. I think the spots look great. You guys will tell me with the trends that we've lined up to coordinate with the plays that we are going out there to smash the books with. And away we go. You guys know the deal. Now's that time. If you haven't done so already, smash the thumbs up button for us. Let YouTube know we're here. You guys hit that thumbs up. They in turn promote us to like-minded individuals that will be other sports bettors. Can't have enough good sports bettors in the chat and building our community to help us grow our bankrolls. So it starts with you guys. Literally, help us hit that thumbs up button, close the chat, hit the thumbs up, open the chat back up, and we'll get to work. All right. Popping things off, commenter numero uno. You guys know the situation here. I get excited. I see Ramon's right in there too, trying to get right on the top of this thing here. Pen and paper time, boys and girls. It's time to get the writing down the notes to keep on tab for us here. All the plays that are being shared in the community, in the chat here. Take note, write them down. Make sure you don't miss any of these caching ops as we look forward to the evening. Here we go. Joe T pops us off. Put your best plays out there. Joe T's leading us off. He's got a Canucks Capitals first period over 1.5. Came off an easy both teams to score casher in that Sabres game, I believe it was. Was it Sabres game? Joe? I might be mistaken. Anyhow, shout out to Joe T. Jover. J-O-F. Popping us off here with that first play out there. Of course, Ramon Scott running so hot. Blessing us with some action to start our card off here as well. Going Southern Illinois, the Salukis. +10 and the over. Wow. +10 and the over 157.5. How does that game pop off, Ramon? I don't want to miss that action. Let's go. It's Ramon Scott. He's running so hot, and you can catch him 9 a.m. Monday to Sunday. Doing that thing he does with the morning steam. A lot of fun to start the morning off. Get yourself a cup of coffee. Keep that pen and paper out. Ramon's going to give you a full card of action to consider throughout the course of the day. Appreciate Ramon Scott blessing us with some action here. Redbeard wants to get the Avs puck line. There's Gonzo. Appreciate him rocking with us here. Robert McCormick, Jay Peasy, Irish King, Nicholas Handy, Subhuman Gaucho. Let's go, you guys. Let's go. Rick J getting some cash in that women's tennis action that he gave out yesterday. Give us some more, my man. Lay it on us. We want to win. Redbeard says books killed everyone yesterday. Yeah, I kind of thought that too. We'll own it. We had a good Monday. We gave a little back yesterday. We'll get it back tonight. But they did have a nice little day yesterday, didn't they? You know, it's funny when you say that because I was talking about that. Remember I said there was that late line movement where they bought back in on the other side of the Lakers there, and turned out to be the right move. Turned out the Lakers are not a 7-point favorite, at least not on the road. Let's go, Subhuman. This I only see Ramon Scott give out so many SGPs. Gonna have to tail that one. Let's go, old EJ Peasy says the Pens the only ones that got me yesterday. And those bum-ass UCLA Bruins, he says. All right. Let's go. There's P. Moss back and rocking, says, let's get the books. Morgan Spooner's here. Barry's up in this piece. Let's go, Barry. What up? Let's get that thumbs up, Barry. You know the deal. You know what we need, my man. Let's go. Appreciate you guys all being here to do it tonight. Full card. Lots of work. Time to get busy. Morgan Spooner's getting busy. Look at this. Giving us the full card, it looks like here. We got the full card from our man, Morgan Spooner. Loyola Chicago. Indiana State +2. UMKC moneyline. Navy +2. Seton Hall -2.5. And Providence, the Friars, -2.5. How about that from Morgan Spooner? Thank you for sharing, Morgan. We appreciate you, my man. Appreciate you. J Main, Clippers, trifecta, first quarter money line, full game. Oh, no first halves in there though, huh? And he likes Powell over 23.5. Huh. Let's go. Joseph Alvarado's here. Sir Mackey loves pie. The IHOP pancake of the month is the Snickerdoodle. Interesting. I like a Snickerdoodle cookie. Not a big cookie guy, but I don't mind a Snickerdoodle cookie. Would be metal as fuck if the Kings played games outdoors. What? It would be a pretty cool backdrop, wouldn't it? Be like one of those video games where you get to create the own background. They want to play in the pits of hell with an ice sheet there, right in the center of it. JPZ's on Seton Hall, East Carolina. Justin McKelvey says sports money is money. Shout out to Keith Each Every Stride. There's Elliot Jameson rocking with the Stop Geos here. Good luck tonight, y'all. Locked in on the Greek Freak over 29.5 points. He's cashed this in 4 of his last 5. Wow. I love you guys coming in, doing the homework, sharing some eye-lifting trends. So important. There's so many games, so many players, so many angles. It's hard to cover them all. It's great to have everybody working together as a team, ready to kick the bookies right in the throat. How about that? Philly Special says Mikal Bridges over 2.5 threes at +105. Let's go. Swizz is in the house. Says pimping ain't easy. There ain't a hobby either. Ain't an HOB. What? It's a JOB is what it is. Chris Sella says Michigan +3 was easy cashed. Yeah, that was the gambler's first glance last night. Elliot Jameson says, I'm alumni of ECU. Huh, class of 95. Let's go, my dude. And Morgan Spooner says, Cronin's UCLA press conference was legendary. I missed it. I heard about it, but I missed it. I got to go back and watch it. I heard it was good. JPZ's telling Elliot to do whatever it takes to win. And Jay Main says he's got that +340 on his first quarter full game and player prop parlay. Villanova for Fernando Mendoza. 2% milk. What's really good sports money? Seton Hall money line for play of the week next week for Notre Dame tomorrow. Gonna fade the state pen? Fading the state pen, 2% milk. What's up, Damon? It's good to see you. T. Moss says I live right outside of Wilson. 45 minutes down the road. Stop Geo's getting a quick update out there. 8 of the last 10 for Giannis at 30+ points. Kirk Gray, Syracuse yesterday. Thank you. That was a nice casher. Nice casher for us with the Cuse. The Cuse got loose. We say we get loose. Let's loosen up a little bit and talk some NHL. We got just 2 games on the map tonight with a 3-game total card. So I didn't want to over push it. Frankly, I don't really like any of this card. I found 2 plays that I made reluctantly. I'll tell you the problem I had. First of all, the Flames and Kings game is the Flames are all over the Kings, literally, or at least the LA area. But what do we have left here? Utah and the Panthers. I'll start with the last one first, the one I left out. I don't want to lay 143 with Florida on the road. all the cash is pouring in on him as well. I was thinking about the under. Honestly, that was a late ad that I was thinking about with the under. But it's a 10 o'clock game, so we have some time to see how things kind of marinate. Also, we do have confirmed goalies. We have Bobrovsky and Bimelka. But I'm not in love with that game. There's nothing I really like. Bobrovsky's been playing great, but the team's losing. I mean, we talk about the formula being goalie makes saves, team wins games. Well, he's got 68 of 72 saves in the last 2 games, and they've gone 0-2 in those spots. So, they're just not scoring enough. Bimelka, flip side of things, Utah's lost 6 of their last 7. Now, the one thing I think Utah has going for them is they just came back from a roadie. And they haven't played in a couple of days. So they should be rested. Or is it rusted? Did the skates get rusted or are the boys rested? They've been off for 3 days. Again, they had that 4-game road trip right through the new year. I might get the under on that. We'll see how I feel by the end of it. I mean, look, 4 of the last 5 for Florida's gone under. Utah, 3 of the last 5. They're win over, under, but they're back home. So I don't know. But I do know when I jumped in on this game here that the first play I looked at glaring at me was this Colorado Avalanche Chicago Blackhawks spot. And, well, Wedgwood got hurt. Lower body. It's tough. Those goalies got to stand in net for 60-plus minutes every single game. Those legs at that cocked, awkward position. It's like a 32-degree angle. And they get hurt. The lower body definitely gets, when I talk about the tread coming off the tires, Wedgwood experienced that just a little bit. And now what we got is an unknown, a Trent Miner from the Miners gets the call up and making his first official NHL start tonight. This young buck was a 7th-round pick in the 2019 draft. He's only 23 years old. That's typical. They draft these guys when they're like 17, but it takes them a good 5-6 years to kind of get up to the speed and the pace of the NHL. But played up solid. 2.10, 93% save percentage in 18 games in the AHL. Thus far, we'll see. We'll see what to expect from this guy. But Chicago stinks. I mean, no, literally. Outscored 25-11 in its last 5 games, and they're not winning. They're 1-4 in those spots. They got good old Pete Mrazek going out there, and he stinks. 7-14-1, 3.39 goals against average, 89.3% save percentage. The Blackhawks lost 6 of their last 7. Mrazek let 4 or more goals in 4 straight. 6 goals in his last game. He's not getting better. He's getting worse. He's gone from serviceable to bag of shit, and he's only getting worse. Look, we don't need to belabor it. I'm going to take the puck line in this spot for a lot of reasons. 1, we just talked about the goaltenders. 2, we talked about the team's performances. 3, we talked about the losing streaks going on out there. Chicago is literally the worst offense per 60 minutes in the NHL. That's a fact. Mrazek might be one of the worst goalies in the NHL right now on the other hand. So, yeah, the rookie, the unknown, and Trent Miner making a start, but I think they can go out there and get enough. I mean, at the end of the day, Colorado's gotten back and healthy. They've won 8 of their last 10, and they're outscoring teams 38-21 in that stretch. So, I think we should see a good spot here. I mean, we'll see if it's a 4-2 type of game. Yeah, maybe. Is Connor Bedard maybe eligible to get a goal in this thing? Yeah, maybe. He's picking on a rookie. So, with all due respect, we'll take the Avs. We'll take the puck line. We won't belabor this one. And we'll move on to the only other game on the NHL card here. It's the Vancouver Canucks and the Washington Capitals. Battle of bullshit as we look at this game because we've got kind of, like I said, this card's not sexy at all. Kevin Lankinen starting for the Canucks. Now, he's good. He's ready. He's the guy that they've gone with all season because Thatcher Demko's been hurt. And the fucking guy's hurt again. Got that back issue. Little tweak. Remember we talked about this. He came back, and I was a little concerned because I was like, what if he tweaks it again? And that kind of could be said for every player out there that comes back from injury. But he did tweak it again. So, look, you've gone back to Lankinen. He's 15-7-5, 2.63 goals against average, 90.4% save percentage. He's on the downtick, 86.5% save percentage in his last 6 games. Since he heard the pitter-patter of those little footsteps of Thatcher Demko, he's been looking over his shoulder. Do I get the start or don't I? His confidence has been shaken. We talked about that too. And he is definitely on the downtick. But you have to look over his shoulder right now. He's the only guy. And something about that to be said when you get prepping for a game that you're not worried about, do I get the start or not? He knew he was getting the start. He wasn't getting the last-minute tap. And then speaking of taps, Logan Thompson's been tapping the prostate of the other teams in an aggressive manner. 16-2-2 over his 20-game sample right now with a 2.39 goals against average and a 91.6% save percentage. Capital stink. They lost 4 of their last 8. But Logan Thompson is the answer when they have him, their 4 straight wins. Thompson, though, did allow 4 goals on 33 shots. So it's a little bit of a dilemma as I was looking at this game because, you see you got Vancouver on a losing streak. You got the Capitals really not operating in finest form yet. They're still kind of figuring out the reassembly of the parts now that they've got Alex Ovechkin back in there. And to me, it feels like this team's trying a little too hard to get Ovechkin to that goal number to pass Wayne Gretzky. I think it's going to happen. We saw him on fire to start the season off, but then he had that little jaunt that he was out of there for almost 4 weeks, I guess. 4 weeks with a broken leg. Only in Russia, man. They make Russians different. That being said, the dude's saucering the puck every single game. I think 9 of his last 10 games, he's got like 4+ shots on goal. Just when you watch him, it just seems like there's a lot. Now, when he was younger and he was faster, he seemed to be all over the ice and he could make those moves and he was shooting the puck a lot. But it just feels like, to me, it feels like they're trying a little too hard there. And because of that situation, I'm going to get in on the under. I grabbed the under in this game. I think it's a good spot. I think we've got 2 struggling teams with, goalies respectfully struggling in their own right. But what does that mean? That means you play defense. You shore things up. You protect the net. You block some shots. You don't make stupid penalties. And if you're the Vancouver Canucks, look, you've been on the road now 3 of your last 4 games. This is number 4. It's been a rocky, roady start for the holidays, but they could certainly be tiring down offensively. I just think this is a really nice under spot. This is on the Sharp report for the day as well. The unders being hammered by respectable bettors. Not just me. But I do like this under. I think it's a good play for us here. And again, small hockey card, but a card I think we can get paid with. So shout out to Sharon Pulliam. Let's go. What's up? Jay Peasy says, Queen Hughes, second game back. And they blew that game to Montreal. I'd be on Vancouver. Yeah, I mean, between the 2 teams, I'm not laying 170 or 185s now with the fucking Washington Capitals. That's not a recipe for success. That's a recipe for blowing your bankroll. And if it wasn't for FanDuel hanging the best number, I'd be on him. A plus 152 at FanDuel, though, does shock me just a little bit. Shout out to Nasty Nate. Says 52 of y'all refuse to hit the like, huh? Come on, guys. That's all we ask you to do. Smack that like button here. Give you guys a free show Monday to Friday at 6 p.m. here at Sports Money. The only cost, hit that thumbs up button. You know if you did or not. You know if you're helping us or not. Are you being selfish? Are you just in here to soak up everybody else's work and then go out there and tell all your friends you made all these plays? Hit that thumbs up. Don't be that guy or girl. Dana Delp likes the Hoosiers under 149. Kirk Gray's on Bradley. Mikey's. What happened? Morgan Spruce says, Mikey, he got everyone soft, said he has more energy and intensity than anyone in the building, said his players were delusional about Cronin. Yeah, I heard it. I want to see it. Everyone uses one of those good motivational spots out there. T. Moss and BS Barbecue here in Greensville, huh? JPC says, new goalie and no Big Val. Only reasons I didn't bet Avs versus Chicago, and they are trash. He says, hit the like if you want the My Name is subclip. Nice. Okay. That gets us through the NHL. Let's jump in here to some college hoops. College hoops popping off. Right. Oops. Sorry, I didn't realize I didn't change that. Oops. Very dehydrated today. Very dehydrated. And we finally got there. The Battle of the Scumbags. College basketball edition. We've got a 4-9 Western Carolina team. 0-2 in the conference play. And then we've got Wofford coming in here. The Terriers. I bet Wofford enough that I know that they're the Terriers. How about that? Let me turn this off there. It's getting a little toasty. Up in here. Woo! It's real toasty up in here. All right, so we look at this game here, and what we've got going on is a minus 14.5 Wofford. Big home favorite. Surprisingly, since they're just 1-1 in conference play. And everybody's betting them 96% of the bets and 87% of the cash. But the line's gone down. It went down to 12.5. It sat there a good 6 hours. In the last 45 minutes, it's come down another hook. It's come down to 12. So, Western Carolina appears to be getting some respected action. You know, we always talk about the percentage of bets, percentage of cash, and cash trying to be related necessarily to the sharper bettors. But the respected action was enough, and it has that differential we talked about. The 9% differential was enough to shake them books on Western Carolina. Then we look at this total. It's gone from 145.5 down to 144.5. And it's a pretty even split across the board. 53% of the bets and 53% of the cash on the under. So what the hell's going on in this game? Well, I think we have a terrific opportunity. This one, to me, as much as it is a battle of the scumbags, is a perfect spot, I think, for us to take advantage here. Because we have intersecting zeros. Why the hell wouldn't you want to? Not only do we have intersecting zeros, but it intersects, and then it weaves back through to intersect again. That's how significant this opportunity is for this Wofford team. Wofford is 8-0 to the under when they have rest, and they shot over 48% the previous game. Rest, shooting the lights out. Next game translates to not that good. The total gets elevated because they were shooting the lights out. You're selling high, and you're taking an opportunity for a team that's now rested to let rust settle back in. 8-0 to the under. Then you've got Western Carolina. They're 11-0 to the under when they play a team that has multiple days rest, and they allowed between 85 and 91 points the previous game. What's so great about that? Why is that one weaved back? Because after they played shit defense, and they're playing a rested team that has rust, they can sneak them early and play some defense to slow them down. You battle up after you puke up your nuts. After you go at 91 points on the board, you toughen up, you play defense, you shut them down. And that's exactly what we're looking to do here. We're going to jump in on this under 144.5. Let me double check. 140. I think it's 144.5. No, 145.5. Sorry, 145.5 was the number. Little Wofford under 140. Now, keep in mind, some of these totals, when we're looking at unders, there really are two halves to these games. So even if not, I'm hoping that's not the case with this one. I'm hoping the rust settles in, and that's what we need. But even if we get to a position where the game pops off and it's two shitbag schools, and you see the total live goes up 10 points, don't be afraid. Take it back down. I wouldn't do that on overs, though. There's some spots where the overs are 157, and then you see a number that's like 137 10 minutes into the game. I don't know that would be one that I'm trying to jump in on the over. That a big number to begin with, and you come off that slow to start, it's hard to catch back up. But on the flip side, shit can slow down real fast. And at that being said, though, I think this Wofford is a great spot for us to capitalize. Let's take it. Let's run with it. JP says, how tired is a 29-year-old athlete from playing an hour of hockey 2 days ago? Well, they're not just playing hockey. They've got the warm-up skate. They've got the preparation that goes in between it. Their equipment's stinking. But the short answer is probably not much. They're probably not very, is the short answer. Man, I should have got a bigger glass of water. That's what I should have gotten there. All right, so that game pops off at 7. We're going to jump on the under for the Wofford Terriers. And we're going to move on to a Big Ten battle. Newly anointed Big Ten basketball team in the USC Trojans, the USC Safe Sexes, and the Indiana Pacers. Everybody loves the Pacers. Pacers. Look at this record for these Pacers. Let me pull this screen up here. Let's get to this Pacers here. We got it. Might as well use it. And, we see that USC's kind of struggling to find their position is probably the best way to say it when it comes to this Big Ten conference. Indiana, on the other hand, is kicking the shit out of everybody. Who doesn't like a good old team that kicks the shit out of everybody with no bias whatsoever? And that's exactly what we're seeing from these boys right now. But interestingly enough, this line opened at 7.5. We have 78% of the bets and 77% of the cash coming in on the Hoosiers. The line's moving in the opposite direction. In fact, it was 7. It dropped to 6.5. And as of now, it's dropped to 6s out there. You can catch, I hate when the game starts and I'm in the middle of reading off some of the numbers. Then the whole thing, hang on, I got to find it again. Everything changes once those games pop off. It must be the 6:30 window. In fact, it is the 6:30 window. Laying down for us right now. Hopefully we get some Nova. Hopefully we get some, that first half under. Be good with me. All right, so we're back to 6, or down to 6, I should say. Not back to, but we're continuing to fall as we get closer to game time with a 16,500 ticket count sample. And we have a total that's dropping as well. Now, that's correlated movement. It started at 150.5. It's taken 58% of the bets and 57% of the cash, and it's dropped down to 149.5 and then 149. So you have over a point of movement now towards this under. And, I mean, the bottom line for me is Indiana's going to have to prove it to me in this game here. Yeah, they've been busting teams up. They just came back off that Penn State game where they were 7.5-point dogs, and they won outright. Prior to that, they busted everybody up. They beat up Rutgers 84-74, did cover. But when the number gets lofty, they do tend to struggle. A Winthrop team, they're laying 16.5. They only won by 9. A Chattanooga team, they're laying 14.5. They only won by 9. Now what do? You take a USC team that's just lost to Michigan. Is there shame in that? We just saw Michigan was a dog last night, went outright by 9 points. The only real true road spot that we've seen from USC at this point was at Washington. They kicked the shit out of Washington. 85-61. They were getting 4. They kicked the shit out of them. Now, look, Washington's 10-5. They're just 8-6 against the spread. But hey, a win is a win is a win is a win. It looks like a win, smells like a win, probably tastes like a win, and certainly it did. I think we see a higher scoring game, though. I do think this one's got defense optional. If you just kind of look at the way these two teams play, that's exactly the situation here. I think that USC, I don't think they give a shit about playing defense. They just want to go out there and try to score as many fucking points as they can. They have won they've won their last 4 games after a home loss. They've won the first half in 5 of their last 6. But I think what happens is their defense just wears down and things get a little loose and sloppy on the back end of things here. We look at the Hoosiers. They're scoring about 79 points a game. And then you got USC coming and play 82 points in 4 of their last 5. And Indiana scored 77 in 3 straight. Fireworks, points, if you like baskets, if you don't want to see defense. In fact, 7 of USC's last 8 and against the conference have gone over 146. So I just think this is a battle. We're going to see a lot of scoring. We're going to see a lot of intensity. I think it's going to be a situation where we've got USC can battle Do they win the game outright? Probably not. They're probably not going into Indiana in this Big Ten opportunity to win this game. But at +6.5, show it to me. Go out there and beat the shit out of these boys. I don't think you can. I'll challenge you, Indiana. I'll take a little USC +6.5 and tell them, fuck off. How about that? Boys fired up today. Disappointed there's not more hockey is what it comes down to. But I'll take the Trojans. I'll take the Condoms. Take the Condoms +6.5. And I'll roll on to the big boys, the adults. And here you go. I love this one. The other day we had Vucevic and Scotty Barnes. You could do that again. I'm not going to do that again. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go Vucevic again. We're not going to read any more Vucevic stats. If you guys are interested in hearing the Vucevic numbers and breakdowns, any day that he started for the last month, just go back and listen. The numbers really haven't changed. He's shooting a lot. He's getting a lot of minutes. He's their perimeter guy. That's pretty much it. Literally, he had 9 shots or 10 shots the last game alone. And they're getting big totals for the Bulls. So that's the extent of the breakdown going forward. Going forward with Vucevic. Going forward, I'll tell you, is he doing it or isn't he doing it? That's it. And we'll know because we're going to be on. He has been just one of those guys that we've been firing away on. On the flip side, though, let me talk to you about RJ Barrett and why I'm not going to Scotty Barnes. I just closed that window out. No, I don't know how it moved over here. Did somebody hack me? All right, Scotty Barnes versus RJ Barrett. Well, the Raptors score 111 points a game. Both those dudes account for 44 of them combined. RJ Barrett's averaging 23.5 points a game. And they open this up at 19.5. Now, statistically, points, rebounds, and assists, RJ Barrett's having his best year of his career. That's not enough to get the battle won, though, when it comes to the Scotty Barnes versus RJ Barrett. However, what's the kicker? Well, he played for the Knicks for 4.5 years. So whereas Scotty Barnes might be the home guy, there's not that uncomfort factor for RJ Barrett when he's down there in Madison Square Garden. Those uncomfortable, unfamiliar sightlines. After 4.5 years, he's got spots on the floor. He knows he's going to go out there and knock down buckets. The problem is health. Can he stay healthy for fuck's sake, please? When he is healthy, here's the stat line in his last 5 games. 25 points, 17 points, 27 points, 23 points, 32 points. We'll get him at 19.5. Even if you can get only 20.5 at this point, DraftKings had the 19.5 while everybody else had moved to 20.5. So I parlayed those two together. Vuce in his threes. Barrett over 19.5 points. I got a +204. Instead of laying the -145s or even -150s now with Vuce, we're going to add to it RJ Barrett. We'll take the over 19.5 points. And we'll take a +204 payday on that thing. I'd still consider the 20.5. I mean, again, he's averaging, what did I say, 23 points a game, 23.5 points a game. So if you can only get 20.5, look for 20+, if that's another option. If it has moved to 20.5, go to the alternate totals and look for 20+. Same difference. Let's go. Redbeard says, went ahead and bought the 19.5 and a 4-legger. All right. Shout out to Kelly D in the house. She likes the under in the Clippers-Denver game. It's an under series. So, got us to the window at the death the other night. Redbeard says, got that number. And then there's KD again. Says, could the Lakers last night minds be elsewhere? Same for Clippers. Tonight equals Denver ? We will see. We've got the lead in here. We got a big game, though, popping off here between OKC Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're not scared. We'll take a big battle. And this is a big battle. This is probably the feature game of the night here. We've got two winning teams Talk about winning. I mean, when you look at what's going on here with these two squads, on the first hand of things here, you've got Cleveland. They're just beating the shit out of everybody, and they've only got one loss at home. Only one. All season long. One loss at home is impressive. On the flip side, OKC's won, what? 15 straight games OKC's come through and won. And if you want to simplify it here, Cleveland, point differential, they're plus 11.8 in that 10-game span. And OKC's 15-game span, they're 12.1 point differential. That's how much they're outscoring their opponents by. They're not just a 1-point differential. They're beating the shit out of teams, both teams. So you got a 10-gamer win streak, and you got a 15-gamer win streak. You guys know when they get to double digits, I like to get moving on the other side. So this is the quandary. What do you do? Well, I think the home court advantage is going to be the big factor in this one. Cleveland's just beating everybody up. They're not scared. They don't care if we got to come to your barn or not to get it done. They're strong. Offensively, they're strong. Probably defensively, they could. They're playing well. What are you going to say? Again, just one loss at home. At the end of it, big deal for me, what we've got going on here. When a team's on a 2 or more game win streak, Cleveland is 10-0 at home. They're winning by over 16.5 points. Cleveland is also 7-0 versus the Western Conference teams with winning records. The good teams in the West, they're 7-0 against the spread. That's a big factor. Now, when we see teams that are on significant winning streaks, how do you differentiate? Well, to me, when I was looking at it, I thought 15 has more of a likelihood to bust than the 10, right? Just at some point, you're going to lose something. And you got an extra 5-pack to your belt when it comes to what OKC's done. But I looked at regular season dogs on a 7-game or greater winning streak. When you're a dog and you're beating everybody up, you're 13-32 against the spread. And that goes all the way back to 2018. So we don't see teams, and this is going to come up in a minute, you don't see these teams go traditionally past a 3 or 4 game win streak. But if they get to a 7 or more and they're a dog in the regular season, they're getting beat up, to a tune of almost at least 2.5 to 1. They're getting beat up 2.5 times to every one time that they pick up a win. And that was enough for me to push it over the edge. I took the money line on Cleveland. That was the deciding factor. I realized I didn't read the splits for you guys, so that is my fault here. Let me do that right now. My fault. Excuse me. Where is it? There it is, 7 p.m. start. And 76% of the bets and 77% of the cash have gone on OKC Thunder. What the line do? Well, it opened at 2.5, and it moved to 3.5. So you got reverse line movement on a lot of money coming in on that OKC Thunder team. They want the points. Then you look overall and you see the totals moved up 3 points as well. So potential scoring being expected. Excuse me. 227.5 to 230.5. 64% of the bets and 60% of the cash are on the over in that game. I jumped in. I took the Cleveland Cavaliers. I got money line situation out there. I got a minus 140. There are some minus 135s and maybe a couple of pennies less than that as well. But Cleveland is the play. They go out there and they handle business against this OKC team at home court advantage. Team's firing on all cylinders. They should bust them up. Holy smokes, Grandma! Horse racing coming in representing and gifting 5 sports money memberships. Grandma! Thank you so much. Appreciate you. She says, love what you do. Let's grow this team. Helping us grow this community. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 members here in this whack. Shout out to you, Grandma. We appreciate you. We appreciate you rocking with us. Appreciate that. It's always in arm's reach. It's always in arm's reach, Grandma. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And helping us build this community as well. That means a lot. Thank you, Grandma. You do rock. Kelly B says, Grandma rocks. Hell yeah. T. Moss is awesome. Congrats. Let's go. Shout out to Grandma. Ramon's shouting out grandma. Redbeard shouting out grandma. Let's go. Irish King says no game in LA. There is not. Kelly V says Calgary, second leg of mom's trip. Yes, playing in LA Kings. No, they're not playing in this. The game is suspended. That game is canceled. Well, not canceled, just postponed, right? Just postponed. All right. Shout out to Grandma Horse Racing. So kind, rocking with us, gifting sports money memberships. Appreciate you, Grandma. There's my man, Nutbush. What up, Nutbush? Big FCS dub for my guy last night. Appreciate you for that. I ended up picking the team and that Montana side, so those were big dubs, man. Thank you much for that, Nutbush Allen. Appreciate you. Barry shouting him out. Barry shouting out Grandma. There's Gerardo Hernandez. He says, get to work. Okay. Okay. Grandma wants us to get to work. Okay. So we covered the player prop parlay. We've got the OKC Cleveland game. Let's go Portland and Pelicanos. I'm going to tell you, this one starts right off. The biggest book need of the night. Biggest book benefit. The Portland Trailblazers. It's not the only reason we're taking the Portland Trailblazers. 61% of the bets and 59% of the cash have come on the Pelicans. The line opened at -2.5. It's moved to 2. It's moved to 1.5. It's now ones. Reverse movement. Then we see 227.5 has dropped to 223.5 with 80% of the bets and 76% of the cash on the over. It's dropping. So my first question is, who's out? The answer is everybody. For the Trailblazers, Jamari Grant's out, Thybulle's out, and Klingen's out. But it's the Pelicanos. Brandon Ingram's out. He's got that ankle injury. Zion's out again. Hamstring injury. Posting messages to Joy Taylor. Getting himself blocked on Twitter. Trey Murphy's out with the ankle injury. DeJounte Murray is questionable. Questionable with an elbow. Man, dehydrated. Why am I so dehydrated today? I fired down like 10 glasses of water. What's going on? Maybe more. All right. Biggest book need, as I had mentioned as well. And then we look at some of the, ticky-tack stuff. Let's look at some of the numbers. Well, Trailblazers suck. But so do the Pelicans. 12-23 Trailblazers, 7-30 Pelicans. Which team sucks less? Well, in this case here, because they're still in the favorite role, trigger is activated. The Pelicans have lost 8 straight games on the second leg of a back-to-back. 0-8, second leg of a back-to-back. They're 0-12 when they're in the favorite position of less than 5 points and they don't have multiple days rest. So not just the back-to-back that's 0-8, but a favorite of just a couple of points when they're not on 2 or more days rest. 0-12. They peak and they fall. And if you look at their schedule and who they just played, they played the Timberwolves. They fell 104-97. They did have back-to-back wins, but pump your brakes. It was the Wizards. It was a home stand against the Wizards. But they've lost to everybody else. And I think they continue that trail here. I don't know why the book's biggest. Who the hell is taking the Pelicans in this position with the -1s? But it's good enough for me. What's the number we got here? Let's look and see. I learned some things about the BetStamp tracking system today. So we may have to find a new home, which is disappointing because I was getting comfortable with this, but they don't have teasers. They don't cover corners. There's a lot of shit that we bet that they don't track. So we're going to have to take that into account. But Pelicanos, they're there. +1.5. The dollars and cents made sense to me in that spot. It was around even money to be a money line play. And essentially for 8 cents, I'm getting a whole 1.5. That means I'm getting a 7 cents discount. Remember, we talk each half point's a nickel. 1.5 points is 3 half points. 3 times a nickel's 15 cents. So if the difference from the money line to the plus 1.5 is minus 115 or less, you take the points. In this case, it is. It's minus 108. It's a 7-cent discount on that minus 115. Hopefully you follow that math. If not, pause it or rewatch it. Check it out later. It's a real simple nickel per half point. General strategy, a general solution. Some people may argue as the book lines go up, we're going to start seeing minus 115s become the norm now. But there's still a lot of books that are discounting. Like DraftKings norm tends to be around minus 108, surprisingly enough. You'll still see minus 110s, but they're trying to entice you to get that action. And that 2 cents means a big difference over the long haul with a bunch of bettors. That being said, give me a little Portland plus 1.5 points. I think they go out there, they get the job done here tonight. Probably do win it outright, but if it is a tight game, I think they pull away at the end is what I think happens. New Orleans is just getting tired. And we see that when they have that unrested situation, they shit the bed. So the Futon Bet says, Pickett's a free bet tracket. Yeah, I was looking at that. I remember, it's funny. It's like I was saying, don't play Pictionary against me. The Futon Bets. I vaguely remember seeing something about each of the different platforms that are out there. So I'm just trying to find the right solution. We'll find the right solution. We'll get it right. But, like I said, the problem is if I put a teaser in there and it wins, and we've won a lot of teasers this year, they don't count it. So, fuck good is it for me? It's not doing me any good. Oh, I won a bunch of games I didn't count. Let me not put them in there and give them out for free, like the Jets on Sunday, and not count it. But you shouldn't be doing that, BetStamp. That's not the way to do things. And they can't change it. Speaking of not changing it, we got the Denver Nuggets not changing locations. Coming in this thing against the Clip Show, who recently got themselves off the shit list. And what do we know about the Clippers? They have been our little under pony. We've been riding it like a pony. And what we got here is a 226 total. That's got 226.5 has gone down to 224.5. We do have 84% of the bets and 81% of the cash on the over. It has come down. I'm more surprised at the number as it opened than I am the fact that it's reverse line movement, because the Clippers with a 226.5 to me felt like auto under. But we'll look and see how the play comes out. Plus 1.5 on the side has moved to plus 2. 66% of the bets, 62% of the cash. This one just moved. This one just moved this half a point in the last 55 minutes, as it turns out. I guess I do know because I logged it right before the show started. And yeah, we saw the Nuggets. They played last night. The Nuggets are on the second leg of a back-to-back with no rest. No venue change in location. Just lost to the Boston Celtics. 118-106. Game they were tied at halftime. They got blown out in the first quarter. The Celtics only scored 20 points in the second quarter. And the Celtics took it away in the third and fourth quarter and ripped them open. And the Clippers on the other side are just 1-3 in their last 4. They've had that shitty road schedule. You got a bunch of road games. You pop back home for a win. Then you go back on the road again and you're playing a bunch of shit games. And that's exactly what they did. Now, they covered their last game. In fact, they've covered their last 2 games for the Clippers, which probably puts them in that favorite role. The fact that they've covered their last 2 and the Nuggets have been struggling at home. They're now just, I think they're even 500 in their last 10 games at home. The Nuggets, no home court advantage, has been a struggle for them boys. But the question at hand is, does Jokic play? Does Jokic play here? Let's see what the injury report says. It's questionable. Gordon's out. Sar's out. Holmes is out. Kawhi's out on the Clipper side. That's the only injury of note for the Clippers. And I guess we'll have to wait and see if Jokic plays. But to me, it doesn't matter. Superseding that is how the Nuggets play. At home off a loss with no rest, 10-1. 10-1 are the Nuggets. Second end of a back-to-back, no rest, and they just lost. They come back fired up. They've covered the spread in each of their last 6. So they're 10-1 straight up. They've covered the number, our spread number, our get paid number, in 6 straight. Second leg of a back-to-back. factor in that no rest factor in there, and we got ourselves a little Nuggets play. So this is another one of those spots where I looked at it and I got the Denver plus 1.5 at minus 105. If you can get the plus 2 now, yeah, of course I would want more points in my pocket than that. More often than not, they win this game. I think the chances are certainly that case. But again, I looked at the money line versus the payout formula here, and at minus 105 for the Denver plus 1.5. Should win the game outright. Should be a tight game. Should be an under game. Should. Jokic should play. But all of that aside, I'm going to take some Denver Nuggets. You're going to get a better number than I got now, and I think that's fine. I'm not scared about this late minute line movement here. Maybe that just to me suggests he's not going to play. And then if you wait till closer to game time, you're going to probably catch him at maybe even a plus 3. Maybe after the public realizes he's not playing, they continue to pound the Clippers. You catch him at a plus 4. Keep your eyes on it. I took the 1.5. That'll be my official number for tracking purposes. And I may go back in and take it again if it goes up to 4. But I'm taking it either way. I don't care if Jokic plays or not. And then the last game we've got on the card tonight, we've got the Spurs and the Bucks. You guys, just a quick shout out and reminder, if you haven't done so already, smash that thumbs up for me. I appreciate you taking the time to do so. I realize I put that in the chat and not in my banner. Whoops. While I'm doing this, can you please hit that thumbs up button? Close the chat, hit the thumbs up, pop back in, you guys. We got one last game to cover. And then we go out there and we see if we can get some money tonight. I'd like to get some money tonight. Let's get start with the Spurs and the Bucks. I should say it's going to stop with the Spurs and the Bucks. And it stops right here. Spurs open up as 5.5-point road dogs. 55% of the bets and 51% of the cash are on the Bucks. The line has gone down to 4. From 5.5 to 4. The total's dropping as well. 87% of the bets, 84% of the cash are on the over. It's come down to 225 from 226.5. And, two comparably situated teams. Champagne guy. Keep an eye on him. You hear the Lillards and the Giannis's and Antetokounmpos and all this other nonsense, but keep an eye on Wemby, of course. What's not to know? Wemby. Keep an eye on Champagne. Especially with no Sochan out. Sochan. He's averaging 30 minutes a game. They got his points, rebounds, and assist number at 13.5. Now, it's not my play. Just telling you to keep an eye on it. When Stoch doesn't play, he goes out there and he fires. And he's gone over his points, rebounds, and assist number. 90% of the games, he gets 24 or more minutes of the season. So he's averaging 30 when there's no Stoch. He's going over the number 90% of the time when he gets more than 24 minutes. Those are the type of little intersecting points. Those are triggers, and you can catch those early before the books realize it. And then when they go back and they adjust it, they make his points, rebounds, and assists 17.5. You just got yourself a huge 4. You got 25% of the value slapped into that thing because you know more than the books, or you knew it before the books. That being said, though, Wemby spot as well. But the angle that I looked at and approached with this game here, I looked at kind of recent performances. Of course, we got to look and see who they played and what they're doing. And the Bucks just came back from Toronto. Well, they had a day off in between, but they had 2 home games. Then they slipped over to Toronto. Now they're coming back here. The flip side of they did beat Toronto, by the way. They busted Toronto right in the mouth. On the flip side, San Antonio's struggling. Only 2-3 in their last 5. And of that 2 wins, one of them was a back-to-back spot against the Denver Nuggets. Doesn't mean it doesn't count. Because you play the same team twice. So you're bound to, we see that a lot of times they split those in the NBA, right? So that was the factor. That was kind of the point or reference within. But I opted to look at the total. Again, of course, the play I want to get involved with here, I love me some unders. I might be a junder when it comes to this thing here because at the end of the day, it's hard pressed. You got the best 2, well, not the best 2, but you have 2 top 10 defenses. Start right there. The Spurs and the Bucks. You got the Spurs off of back-to-back losses. This is like we talked about earlier in hockey. What do you do off of back-to-back losses? We focus on playing defense. Slow things down. Protect the net. Get the rebounds. Board up. Spurs' last 4 games have gone under. 4 straight unders for the Spurs as well. It's good enough for me. I'm looking at the under in this game. The best number I picked up earlier was 227. 227 in this under spot for the Bucks game. Shore them up. Figure them out. A day's rest in between now. As long as the Bucks don't go off, this thing should cover, I think, comfortably. Best numbers that you can get that are out there right now. 227 has rolled to, oh, look at this. We zipped them. 226 and a halfs, 227s, down to 225 and a halfs, and now a 225. How about that? It's on the down tick. Better get her while she's hot. As I said, this thing should comfortably cover. We'll see. I probably think the Spurs win this game. After those back-to-back losses, you got to get fired up to play a team like the Bucks. You know that they're kind of the belt holder, if you will, when it comes to the West. And Jared Bush says, don't say Bucks are not winning. They are. Jared Bush, I'm going to write down that you said that. Hopefully you'll come back when they lose and eat the humble pie that you deserve. And if not, I will. But everybody likes to come back and say they won. I never hear anybody say, boy, I was wrong on that game. I might be the only guy that loses bets. I come in and I rain, sleet, or snow. If I win or lose, I'll let you know. And that's how we're going to finish the show, boys and girls. I appreciate everybody rocking with us. Thank you, guys. Kelly V, Jared Bush, JW, Rick J. Man, it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this thing matriculates tonight. Kelly V rocking with us as Wemby versus GF. Should be a good game. TV, ESPN. I expect he'll probably play in that case as well. And if he's in or not, then so be it. Jared Bush says, take a bath on TV at Laker player, Mike. Take a bath on TV at Laker player, Mike. Bath on TV at Laker player, Mike. Which one do you mean? Which one? Oh, was it what? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Hemi? Good old Hemi with a J. All right, that's going to do it. We cover the recaps at the beginning. See you at 6 p.m. tomorrow, Jared. Thank you guys all for rocking with us here on behalf of the Sports Money Network. You're here with Pregaming at 6 p.m. Make sure you check out my man, Ramon Scott. Look, we got MMA content this week out there. The VB MMA Pick Show has made its migration over to Sports Money. We're so excited to have him and the crew. Ramon hosting the show, coming over there, giving us early picks. They give you their 3 favorite bets early on the card. We're going to film First Strike tonight. The boys will be back in action. Got to get them assembled for 4 of our favorite best bets here before the fight card for Saturday. UFC Fight Night. We'll be going. We'll be rolling at 3:30 p.m. on Saturday, so make plans accordingly. We do have a live stream tomorrow night. Somebody told me there's a big college football game on. It's Penn State, Notre Dame. Until tomorrow morning with Ramon Scott on behalf of that Sports Money Network. Thank you guys for watching us. We'll see you real soon. Good luck with your gambling.